You are listening to the Partner Up podcast by Welcome to Bundaberg. I'm Gail Reynolds, and in this series you will hear from community leaders who are kicking big collaborative working together goals. We will highlight the successful partnerships, shedding light on the positive impact they have had on both businesses and the community. Welcome to Bundaberg aims to improve the health and well-being, work and lifestyle outcomes for people living in Bundaberg by activating and implementing a range of community-led strategies across a range of services for a more connected, cohesive community. Before we start today's episode, I would like to acknowledge country. I would like us to take a moment to reflect on the meaning of place and connection. In the spirit of reconciliation, I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we live, work and love on. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging of all the lands, and I extend that respect to all First Nations peoples listening today. Let's go. All right, so today we're here with Craig Lear, and please, Craig, introduce yourself.
So I'm Craig Lear. I get the privilege of managing Peirson Services, which is a family and youth counselling organisation. I've been supporting local families in the community for over 30 years now.
Wow, that's a really long time. So what can you tell me about Peirson Services that some people in our community might not know about?
Well, Peirson Services is managed by a board which is in Brisbane, and most of our funding comes through our farm, which was donated by the two Peirson sisters 77 years ago. So that drives a lot of the free service we've been able to deliver to our community in supporting the young people and families. We really want to support the whole system that young people grow up in, because they don't appear in a vacuum. And if we can help support those relational connections, we see young people doing much better. We see families that sometimes are in difficult situations come out and flourish.
Yeah, I really like that model of, you've started with a farm. It's producing avocados
and some macadamia as well.
Yeah, which is a really great resource for our community and for all of Australia.
Yes.
As well as there's job opportunities there for people who are working out on the farm. There's programs that you run out there, as well as then that's funding the services that you provide for families in Bundaberg at your centre. Can you go into a bit more detail about what those programs and projects look like, the team that you have there?
Yep, no worries. So we've got a counselling team and a youth workers as well, but everyone's qualified across both areas. And so we deliver individual counselling or family support counselling. We also work collaboratively in a number of fronts. So we're just taking on coach community mentoring. So we've been developing mentors in the community to come alongside families that are doing it a bit tough and support them in meeting some of their own life goals. And that's just something that started in the last couple of years, doing really well. That's people that have probably been through the counselling service and then just looking for a little bit extra assistance afterwards. We work with chaplains in school, so we'll take kids out and work on the farm as well, doing a camp in a couple of weekends' time with them, as well as work with Youth Justice around their Transition to Success program. We've been working with them for 6 years now, and young people come out on the farm and the guys work with them. We've had our youth workers support that program as well, and young people break the cycle by becoming qualified or getting a certificate in certain areas. We're also working with IPAC, which is Integrated Pathways at Kepnock. So we've been working with Kepnock, the council and local business around giving young people that may not have seen work as a prospect in the future some exposure to that, and giving them some skills and giving them a reason to be at school and some hope about where they could go after they leave school. So there's some of the current projects, as well as we run Empower Her, which is a girls group for girls in grade 4 to 6, setting them up for success in high school. It's getting a bit more technical. How do you build those relationships and everything else? So the girls in our team there, we have 3 female counsellors. They run that. And the girls grab some skills, have a graduation day where they cook a meal, invite some grandparents or parents, as well as women from the community our Deputy Mayor and some ladies from the Zonta, they've come and the girls just talk about what they've learned and their confidence grows and they're able to contribute back. So that's getting them ready for high school, as well as our boys. Tough Masters programs started in 2019 as a need that we identified in our community. For young lads that are probably identified as probably lacking a few skills, and we just want to be an early intervention so that those kids don't get picked up and go down the youth justice path, but we want to get there early, help them with their social skills and thrive at school and with their family. So there are a few fronts we're working on at the minute.
You guys do so much within the community, and you mentioned there quite a number of programs and projects that you're working with. And one of the things that I noticed that you said is that none of those are really working in silo, just with you. You mentioned collaborating with the council, with the schools, with youth justice, with all of other industries in Bundaberg, other community organisations. And that's a real benefit to our community. It empowers people to take responsibility for who they are and where they want their community to go and grow. So I want to ask you if you can elaborate a bit more about a particular project or a point in time, something that you've worked with that was a really engaging and exciting and supportive collaborative project.
Okay. Well, I might just talk about the IPAC project we're in the third year of doing right now. And so that's a partnership between ourselves, Kepnock State High School, our council and businesses in our community. It initially started working more on the farming, agricultural front in the first year, just due to the fact of COVID at that space and farmers having less workers. So I want to show young people that maybe find school a bit difficult and want more hands-on experience, an opportunity to go and apply that. So we've been working collaboratively together in that framework. It's pretty exciting because as it grows, we're able to share our knowledge and experience back to the team. We have a little committee meeting, and this year we've restructured it so that Josh, our youth worker, comes along. He's fantastic at facilitating groups and getting young people on board. He now starts the day off with a bit of team building and that social emotional sort of equipping ready for the day, that they can go out and practice it when they get there. It was initially put in there as a at the end of the day thing, but we know that some young people, due to their experiences before they even get to school, aren't quite ready to go and try and live in the adult world, so we can support them, have a calmer launching pad. They're going out and they're having really good success. They're engaging more with the community, they're taking on the new knowledge and they're seeing how they can apply it in the school, or they've got some hope about, you know what, I've only got a few more months and I can actually go and get a job, because some of our employers that we've been to are ready to take on young people at 15, and these young people are close to that, so that they actually have a bit of hope. And that's been an exciting project, and we're also trying to implement and offer to the parents of those young people our Bringing Up Great Kids program as well, which I didn't mention before. So that's a trauma-informed parenting program that just builds reflective capacity, getting an understanding of, as we move from, I guess the Bringing Up Great Kids foundation is understanding what a young person needs to thrive. Then the adolescent one is understanding, besides that, the position of a parent changes from being a custodian into a consultant. And if we don't do a good job as our consultancy, like if you went to a consultant, you wouldn't go back to them. So if we can help parents as well, that whole system change and get some new skills as developmental stages go, we see a lot more success happening. So it's an exciting project. Looking forward to seeing, I guess it's going to take a couple of years to get the stats there to show the difference. But the research says in that field, a young person that has had four experiences with industry, their chance of being employed 2 years later goes up significantly. So
it's such a great program, and it really demonstrates that collaborative capacity that all of those stakeholders have, and that working together environment. What was the positive effect that had on you and your organisation, being able to work with those other groups?
It's good because there's more resources. I guess it brings a bit of energy, a bit of passion back in, a bit of hope about our community and its future. when we're all working it together, because I always have a belief that, yes, services are good, but they're not a lifestyle, they're not a good life. So as a community, the more we come together and create our own narrative and remind young people that they are important to us, that we see their future, we can speak that into their life, give them the experiences they need to create this society we all want to live in. So it's been exciting to say, wow, we can actually achieve that because we've got some amazing other partnerships going on in our community that all have a heart for our community. Instead of sitting back and blaming or excusing, they're jumping in and saying, this is ours to own, and we want to make a different way for young people.
It's a really rewarding space as well,
Definitely.
and for everyone involved, as well as the kids. But then you also mentioned that flow-on effect that it happens within the family unit, within parents or caregivers, the adult person in that child's life as well. It really, I feel like it empowers the community to make better decisions and to take responsibility for what's happening and ownership. Which is a really nice thing to see, and the fact that you're not trying to just do that on your own. Like you've brought in all of these different partners to have a greater, bigger impact on the whole of community. It's a really great program. So what did you learn about the whole experience, and what did you learn about yourself, I suppose, or the organisation from that? How did it? Is it going to shape future collaboration or experiences, and what does that mean?
I guess it gives you a bit more confidence in what we're doing, that we were on the mark, we have been, and it's just now looking at ways to expand that and explore who else we bring in. So like seeing that grow, the way we set up now, it's only been this year we've done the Empower Her, and just looking at who else do we collaborate with here so that we can help young people have more connections. Dr. John Warlow is one of the people that we base a little bit of our training around. He talks about a pyramid of support, and that's what we really always based all our counselling around. Yep, we're here for only a season to walk alongside people, but when we can help people journey together in our community, we see a successful community happening. And my goal would be to work myself out of a job, preferably, but it is exciting. We do have some, as I said, really good people here, and the more we can connect and the more relationships we build, like you and I are on the Working Together Commitment Committee, and we keep inviting people in that have a heart for our community, and as we start sharing our resources, sharing our ideas, people in our community are going to do much better.
And when you're looking for those partnerships and collaborative networks or groups, what sort of things are you looking for? Like, what is it that when you meet someone or you come across a program or a project, you go, okay, I need to invest some more time or effort into building a relationship here? Yep.
Well, I guess it's the shared values that we all have. We look at that and we go, yep, we can partner with that and genuinely do this together. So we're not entering into any false agreements and then coming away frustrated. So we look for those alignments that we do have together around our values and why we're doing what we're doing, and there's no hidden agendas behind it. No one's just trying to tick stats. Our heart is really genuinely for the person. So we do that. They're the people I lean into. Yeah. Love what you have been doing for quite a number of years now, and how you sew that together with people. So love hanging out with you, and just we're opening up one of the referral pathways, having a conversation with you in the next week, I think, around coach. So it's just making sure you have that alignment right, so that your intended vision and hope for people will continue because you've got the right partnerships there.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it there, was really setting up the expectation for what the partnership is going to do and bring for everyone who's there. And I think one of the things that we find is when we enter a partnership is that for the best outcomes, everybody needs to be on a level playing field. So ensuring that there's no one that holds more power in the agreement or within the partnership, that we're all coming together for a certain purpose, to try to achieve a certain thing, and we all have a part to play in that. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I'm always not trying to build my own empire. It's about what people need and making sure nobody else is joining it just for their own glory or promotion. I have a little sign on my desk that I've always had for quite a number of years now and at home. It says, I may not have it all together, but together we have it all. So I'm always looking at that togetherness. How do we do this? Because we're all part of a big system. So our society's a big system, which is made up of small families, and when families do well, our society's going to be doing well. And it takes a community to raise a child, and it creates the whole community to support a family. And we've got a number of people like yourself that are really big on family. So connecting them into community, whether it's finding the fun things, the right things for them to do after they've finished and grown. It's just looking at all those avenues that go on so that people have a successful life and we have a really great community together.
And as we kind of wrap up here now, you touched on it before around the working together commitment.
Yep.
And can you talk a little bit to that, what your role was, where you came across it, and maybe just talk a little bit about what it means, because we haven't talked about it on this show yet.
Okay. So the working together commitment was put together as a bit of work that community services groups come together. It probably nearly took about 2 years by the time we got to the end project. It was just talking about how do we work together instead of working in silos. We have some restrictions around what we can offer in our contracts, but how do we work together for the benefit of people? And how do we share information? How do we have honest conversations when things aren't working well and we're not working between each other? And just for the benefit of the client that we're trying to support, the family. So that took a little while. A committee's been formed since then. I jumped on there because I just want to make sure everyone's doing well. And I feel part of my role is to try and care for one another, and that just checking in. We're all humans helping other humans. So if we're not doing well because of the pressures coming on us and no one's checking with us, we're not going to do the best way of supporting others. So my role, I feel, as a professional supervisor in the role I play at other places, is just to come along with that lens to make sure we're caring for one another. But then we're going to have those conversations that we need to have. The exciting ones about what we can do and future plan, but also the difficult ones about, hey, did you know this is happening? And maybe look for a way of having that difficult conversation with a curious lens instead of a judgment lens. But yeah, making sure that all the services that support people see people progress and move on, not just move from service to service so that they're supported. And some of those risks are taken care of. We don't want to see people risk or people missing out because other people are getting over service. So working together commitment does a bit of that sort of role.
Yeah, I think it's a really important part of our community service sector, and as it develops and evolves and grows, I feel like it will have a ripple effect into other sectors, into other parts of our community, into other systems, and I can really see that the framework and the model that's in place there really benefiting our community as a whole. Okay, well, finally, is there anything else you would like to add today to this conversation? You know, it's been a great insight into the work that you do, that the work that Pearsons are doing in our community, and all of the positive outcomes and conversations that you're having around a whole community-centred solution. And I thank you for joining us. But anything to add?
Not really. We're just blessed to be in the place we are. And if we change the narrative about our community, instead of a community that's struggling and unemployed and we have these high stats in the wrong area, to being one where we're actually a supportive community. We value our young people. We support families. We care for families. We've got a lot to offer. We go with that mindset, we feel better. And if people can keep a more open mindset, curious, and I wonder why that's happening, instead of a judgment, I wonder why that's happening. That curious bit, we do better then because we're supporting one another.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gar.
Thank you for sticking around to the end of this episode. If you would like to listen to future episodes, you can follow or subscribe to Welcome to Bundaberg on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Welcome to Bundaberg.